So we are live from Ibiza with Café Diem with your host, Michelle Reid, and my guest, Gavin Lawson, and Andrew Gibson, all the way from AUDIOMOGUL in the center of the island. How are we?
Very good.
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning. Quite a subdued. Is it early for you or late for you in the morning?
Neither.
This is about right.
Yeah.
I had a 2-hour meditation last night, so I'm still in dreamland.
Okay, 2-hour meditation. That's It's quite a long time. Was it guided or was it something that did you actually?
Yeah, it was
do
a guided
yourself?
meditation. Yeah, it was a guided meditation through a podcast service that I quite liked. So
wow,
I needed it actually yesterday. We launched the website yesterday, so
cool.
It was a big day.
I've never been able to do a 2-hour meditation, so kudos to you, Gavin.
Yeah, so like I said, just a little bit dreamy this morning, but in the nicest possible way. You can hear the birds chirping here, so it's pleasant.
Cool,
pleasant.
Awesome, and I hope coffee's helping with that.
Coffee's helping me right now. Actually, yeah, it's preparing me for this day ahead.
And I know that we've had conversations before, and both of you are not into coffee. So what are you drinking, Andrew? Just staying hydrated, right?
I've got my dumbbell-shaped water bottle.
Oh, fantastic! Not even that's very very Ibiza plastic water bottle.
I know, yeah. I reuse it, don't worry.
Yeah. How many times do you reuse it before you recycle it, Andrew?
Or at least 10. we've got a 5-stage osmosis filter here, so.
Cool. Awesome. That would be probably a good thing for you guys as well. AUDIOMOGUL, those reusable water bottles.
Yes.
Since you have such a beautiful logo.
Yeah. We've got the designing process at the moment. It's been designed in St. Petersburg in Russia.
Oh yeah, cool.
So,
very cool.
Yeah, we're getting quite excited about that product.
Yeah, lots of stuff coming from you guys. So before we move into a little bit more specifically about you and the business, tell me about the coffee, because I was quite excited. Officially my first real coffee snob on the program. who knows way more about coffee than I think anybody, all of us combined, that have been on this program so far. So tell me a little bit about what you're drinking, Gavin.
I'm drinking the last of our prototype coffee that was sent out, which is from Honduras, and it's really good. It's a really light roasted bean, so it's got a very slow and sustained caffeine release over 4 hours. So I drink 2 a day, so it's about 46 grams of coffee in a day, which I think is really good. So I've been doing a lot of research on it, so I'm really happy with that. But it's all about what you use it with. So I have a whole array of things, from an AeroPress, which is the easiest way to make coffee, to a Vietnamese coffee cup, which I use with. I've also got a mocha pot, an Italian handmade mocha pot. I have an Italian hand-built espresso machine.
The bag of tricks.
And I love my V60. And to top it all off, which is my favourite of them all, is the SYPHON.
Ah, cool. I mean, we never used the SYPHON. We're hardcore AeroPress in this household. But I think we'll
change that by sending you a SYPHON.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get a SYPHON to you.
Cool. How is it like? I was always curious to know how is it like sustained over 4 hours? Because with coffee generally it takes about half an hour for it to really adapt to your adenosine transmitters.
Yeah. Well, again,
so how does it work?
It's to do with the process of how so the grind, depending on fine to coarse grind. I use a knock. I've really got to promote this, not for the fact that they do anything for me, but this is the best hand grinder I've found. It's made in Edinburgh, and it was designed by one of the CAD designers from Audi, and they took it to Edinburgh University and compared it with a £2,000 electric grinder, and the coarseness of the grind and the quality of the grind was matching between the hand grinder because of the bars on it. The bars are pretty amazing. So with that in mind, it's a 7-minute roasting process for the coffee that we use, and it's done on computer. So it's followed by Steve GLENCROSS at MACHINA Coffee in Edinburgh, and basically we did a lot of testing to see how long the caffeine sustained, whether it's sustained, whether it was too high of a caffeine hit, or whether it was too low a caffeine hit, and again then work through certain beans that were brought in from different countries. This took 5 years to get right, so it wasn't a slow process. But now over the last 2 years, we've finally got it down to the way we want it. And for music production, which is big, this is the big reason, is because you're sat all day in front of a computer, as you are with any of the creative industries. It's important that you're not sidetracked by your coffee. So yes, there are many scientific ways of looking at it, but the reality comes down to using a filter predominantly, and using a medium grind, a medium coarse grind, and then obviously being able to sit and enjoy that coffee over a shot. You know, and it's not an espresso shot, it's not quick. Plus with an espresso machine, and I won't go too deep into this because it's all over YouTube, you can find out all the details about this, but and James Hoffman's probably the best person to watch on YouTube about coffee.
James Hoffman?
James Hoffman.
Okay.
Yeah, James Hoffman's channel. He was the 2007 world champion barista. So
where's he from, Gavin? Just so people
He's
can
British.
British,
He's
okay,
British.
cool. James Hoffman, British, cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around the world, been to lots of different farms, and his story's pretty amazing, but he also goes to different countries to check. And now he's got a Patreon where people now send in, he buys lots of different coffee equipment and tests it. And his accuracy is quite amazing. So, I mean, I'm going to change the subject ever so slightly, but it's very relevant. There was a scientific paper written in January on how to make the perfect espresso, and it's all mathematically done. I've sent that now to Milton, who wrote the foreword on our book, which obviously we'll talk about. And he's now going to try and turn the mathematics within that paper into music. So we're going to try and turn coffee into music.
Oh, wow. Sounds like a good collaboration.
Yeah, it's quite exciting. It's quite an exciting project.
Cool. Very cool. I'm sure that we could talk about coffee, and we could learn a lot about coffee.
I'm not going to bore you with it.
Well, the thing is we only have half an hour. And I think if people haven't had their coffee, it's going to be too much for them. So I'm going to ask one question, because I know you have your own coffee and it took quite a long time to get to market, and I'm very excited to try it, I must say. But if either of you were to have a coffee in Ibiza, where would you go to have your perfect coffee in Ibiza?
I would go to Passion.
To Passion?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because,
is there one specifically?
Well, I've been in there a few times. I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't tend to drink coffee in Ibiza.
No.
I find it too dark a roast, and I prefer to make my own. I mean, you've seen the array of equipment I've got. It kind of doesn't really make much sense to go out and pay for a coffee. But if I'm going to buy a coffee, I'll make the effort to go to Santa Eulalia and go to Passion.
Okay. You can't beat the view there either, though, right?
Yeah,
so it's a coffee with a view for sure. And Andrew, if you're going to get your best milkshake in Ibiza, where would you go get your best milkshake?
You know about my milkshake now.
Everybody does now.
I'd say probably Caffeine in Santa Eulalia.
Yeah.
Especially chocolate one, because I think they're going to start using our cacao.
Yeah.
So
that's another conversation. Hey, the cacao.
Yeah,
and
that's
interesting. The cacao and the coffee as well, which again, we could talk about coffee for the whole half an hour, but I could talk about your business as well. Cool.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
So yeah, Caffeine, and they make a fantastic iced coffee as well, proper iced coffee. So shout out to Caffeine in Santa Eulalia. Super. So from coffee, this is where we now spill the beans. And which is very appropriate because what you sell are only beans and not ground, right? So I want to talk about AudioMogul, and AudioMogul is known for their music production courses, and now very much getting into health and wellness and that side of it as well, which, you know, I think the island is definitely, for the last couple of years, IMS has been focused on this health and wellness and mental health as well. So really relevant and appropriate right now. How did you start? Where did AudioMogul? What was the story about getting into the health and wellness side of it? So not the rock and roll side of it, the drugs and the booze and the prostitutes maybe, but the more health and wellness side of it. Tell me a little bit about the journey into this side of it. So,
well, just to start, when I sort of met Gavin, Gavin's been sort of creating AudioMogul for the past sort of 5-6 years. We've only really been doing music courses for probably about the last 2 years. When we started speaking about it, I was like, this is what I really want to do. I was kind of on the fence with it all when he started bringing in things like yoga and a meal planner in there. And I think it's been a really good way we've bounced off each other, because I have been that devil's advocate of saying, look, the guys are paying, you know, a sum of money to come and do a course. You know, they're here to learn music, not yoga. But then the feedback we got from the people was just incredible on the course. We tried different meals, and we looked at foods that were creative and tried a plant-based one, then one with meat in it, and then back to plant-based. And I was like, wow. And I was in instructor in the army for a number of years. And I always remember the 2 p.m. slump where they'd come in and go, oh, you'd have to really rally them up. And they do it in conferences the same. Conferences are always cheap carb-based food. And they get people coming in, and the first sort of lecture or seminar after lunch is always something very energetic to get them back up again. We didn't need to do that. The guys were already on fire when they came in. And I was like, wow, this works. So that's when I really, you know, said, this, it's not just a thing. This is now tried and tested over 3 courses.
Right.
And it works. But Gav can talk about the actual courses and how he implemented it. But
was that last year when you did the first one with that, or has it been a couple of years now?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, the first.
2 years ago,
yeah.
Okay.
And then we've doing that and various courses, and they're quite specific to get our target audiences. Is pretty niche in what we're doing. And obviously now we've got the whole website up and running and everything else. So now it'll start to accelerate. But yeah, we've had a lot of trial, no errors. Pretty much. Well, the odd little thing, but pretty much, you know, we were surprised ourselves of how much sort of from the trial part things really did go well. So
yeah, cool, very cool. And Gavin, how did you start implementing that? Because I imagine you were into it yourself to begin with, though, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, really, because my ex-wife was a vegan.
Okay.
I started to take step backs. I mean, this is 10, 11 years ago. And I took step backs sort of 4.5, 5 years ago, and thought, when was I most creative? Ask myself a simple question: why do I love music so much? And then I took a step back to start to think about when my creativity was at its best. And I realized it was when I was vegan.
Okay.
So I started the AudioMogul blog when I was traveling with my family in a camper through France, and AudioMogul came up, and Steve and I have been talking about coffee, and we've been talking about veganism, and we've been thinking about ways like I said earlier, ways to sit down and make music using full left and right hemisphere of the brain, you know, logic and creativity, because it is pretty much the only subject there in the world where you need both sides of the brain to work, you know, matrimonially. So when with that in mind, it was like, okay, well, let's start doing this again. So we went completely plant-based again. We're using coffee, then started doing yoga when we were living in Cacao in northern Spain. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, wait a minute, these things are working. They're really helping the creative process. They're also helping when I go out and DJ for like 5-6 hours, because I was DJing 4 nights a week in Cacao. And obviously with back pain and using the yoga and the meditation on a daily basis. And then we kind of slipped out of it a little bit due to being in Spain. You kind of fall back into habits of having sausage and these things. And then I realized the creativity, it dropped again. And it was like, okay, well, let's work on this. So when Andrew and I met, we were talking, and I was like, look, I really want to do courses with you. Let's start working on some courses. We started the courses, and the first one, we didn't. We had a menu that crossed the board. It had fish, it had meat, it had vegetables, it had salads. And it was good. It was really good. But then on the second one, we made it pescatarian. So it was only fish and veg. And then on the third one, we went full tilt plant-based and raw. And we basically did the research between all three and worked out what worked out best. And to be fair, the plant-based with the coffee and the cacao and the yoga and the meditation really helped. And then it makes you feel better because you're doing it. So when you get a group of 8 or 9 students who are actually giving you feedback to say, well, look, this really worked. And as Andrew put perfectly, when you watch them at 2 p.m. and they're still fully engaged, and then it comes 6 p.m. and they don't want to leave, then you know that the education experience isn't. I've done it myself, staring at strip lights when I was an Apple certified engineer. You know, you sat there and they're going on about technical things, and it's true. It's they lay out sandwiches and really bad coffee. So we've really taken that on board, and now we've been working and we've created the ebook, which is for everybody. So you don't just have to come on the course. You can use the coffee, the cacao, and the meal planner, all from the ebook.
Cool. On the ebook, what would you say? So both of you, Gavin, Andrew, what's your favorite part of the ebook? What do you think is most relevant? The one I was going to say, besides the one you wrote, Billy. It's too hot to run in Ibiza now, Andrew. So what are we going to do instead?
And I found out the other day. So I think my favorite part, I would say, is I would say for me is actually the foreword, which is a really weird thing to say. The guy who wrote the foreword is a double PhD guy called Milton, who I actually watched on a video in a course that we put on, and then all of a sudden he's involved with us. And the bit about he said about the foreword is when he read the book, he was like, look, this is science, part of it, the nutrition, everything else. But he said, you don't have to take the advice of this. You don't have to read the whole book and change your whole lifestyle. You can take elements and parts of it. And that's the beauty of this book. It's not just a case of, you have to change your whole life and do this. You can implement exercise into it. You can implement the smoothies, the meal planner, the nutrition part, the yoga, the coffee, the cacao. You can bit by bit, and it is kind of modular. And it's not, and Gav says, I was reading yesterday again, he's like, look, do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. If you want to do it, do it. And if you want support, we're here to help you with it. And you can do 5 days a month with the meal planner and then eat the junk you eat normally. Mm-hmm. And then next month, try 10 days and then try 15 days afterwards. And if you don't like it, stop. Mm-hmm. And it's, that's quite rare for, sort of a mindset, but it's a realistic mindset. Mm-hmm. I think people get too sort of sucked in. People go, do this, do that. And they're a bit like, well, hang on a minute. And then they don't do it. And then they fall off the wagon a little bit and then they stop. Where us, it's like, try it for 5 days. Mm-hmm. Don't like it, don't do it. So it's a different way. Something
is always better than nothing. And
I totally agree.
People have that mindset where they all or nothing, and it's like, oh, I can't do any of it, so I'm not going to do it. Instead of like you're saying, like that you said it was modular,
yeah.
Which is very much like writing music as well, isn't it? So
yeah, very much so.
I'm sure. Yeah. So you have some really good feedback. I guess the book just launched yesterday, though, right?
Yeah, people have had it since then, so we've given out to a few.
Cool. And Gavin, what would you say is your most highlighted part of the book, besides yours?
It's the second last thing that came in, which came in by accident, just because. So Tamara, who does the breathwork has been working really well for me, and it was basically her vocal recording with music written by Phil and Kane, who's one of our trainers for the courses. And then due to another project that's been happening on the island, I took her voice and again, you have to hear it to believe it. But basically we put it through headphones and using ambisonics. And ambisonics means it's basically used for virtual reality. Mm-hmm. So the idea is that her voice goes round your head and she comes up behind your ear and she comes round the other side of your ear. And it's a really profound experience, but you actually feel that she's there. Mm. And that's really important. It's not 2-dimensional, it is 3-dimensional.
Cool.
That has become, I do that 3 days a week because it's quite an amazing experience, but it's in the book as a click, and you can download the Google Drive link. So everybody who gets the book can have a copy of it. But it is a really strange experience to have someone come up behind your ear and getting you to breathe. Yeah. It's really quite a profound experience. And we're looking at that further.
Do you suggest that people lie down when they're experiencing this, or sit up, or whatever is comfortable for them?
Well, it's what's comfortable. The most important thing with the meditation is beautiful by Suzanne Faith. Mm-hmm. I mean, Suzanne Faith herself has a PhD in psychology, so we've done a lot of talking about why meditation and yoga actually work psychologically. Mm-hmm. So she's a doctor in psychology, so it really has helped. And Suzanne's one of the go-to Ibiza yoga instructors and trainers. Cool. If you want to learn how to become a yoga teacher, you go to Suzanne.
Cool. Yeah, it's exciting. I had a preview of the book and there's a lot of really interesting information in there. So very exciting for you. So I hope it goes well. I'm sure it will.
Thank you very much.
Who are you? We're going to move into your purpose now. So we could talk about Audio Mogul. We could talk about the ebook. Who are the people that you're helping, and who are the people that have been really receptive to this new way of working with Audio Mogul?
I think, the important part there is what you're saying is the help part that you just said. Audio Mogul as a whole is to help musicians, artists and creatives to continue doing that and to get longevity in whatever industry they're in. we looked at various other course providers and what people are doing, and realized that all about, one-hit wonders, and we can teach you to cut corners and make tracks. And it's like, that's not going to give you longevity in the music industry at all. So they might do it once and then they get the one big hit. And I used to work for a sort of a DJ sort of help sort of group with various different people with some rather large DJs inside it. And what it was they were saying, make this one track and you'll get big. Some of them were doing it, or one, but we're actually doing it. And what happened then was they had to repeat that process, and then they couldn't. And then the frustration came because they were helped along by giving them a sample or whatever. So we realized that was a real problem, especially the aftercare part. So we realized that actually we can help these people in the music industry, young producers coming through, or people sort of, mine and Gav's age, who have got the amazing amount of talent, but have never been given that chance or that outlet of how to actually get that music out there. So it ranges from all the way through. And again, to give them that longevity and saying, make music properly, make it in the correct way. Here's to help with your creativity. We can help you with this. We're here after the courses and after this to talk you through the other processes you have as well. And that's really it. We believe that we are very, very, unique in the way that we approach things, and unique in how we are helping people, because we are actually helping people. So
that's very much like I was going to say the fashion industry, which is my old industry. And actually going back to that, when we used to do all of our sales launches, which was like days and days of seeing new product, they'd basically just give you, like you say, shitty coffee and biscuits, so it is really nice to see what you guys are doing for these people, because it doesn't like, the sugar crash is real. The sugar crash is so it's interesting. I really like this, and that's why I want to bring you guys on. So not only are you lovers of coffee, one of you, but you're also lovers of the fact that it's not a quick fix. And that's what's happening in the health and fitness industry right now. People just want like this quick thing. And it's like you say, it's longevity and it's a lifestyle. So the people that you are helping and the people that have, like I say, become receptive to this, what are the feedback that they're getting? Like, how do you know that you're helping them? Again, besides someone coming up and saying that was fantastic, like the creativity side of it.
I don't know if you know Hideo. Do you know Hideo Blackman?
No, I don't.
She's. I mean, there's too many people to talk about. So, but I like to use her as a really good, because she was coming back and forth to Ibiza. She's from Tokyo in Japan.
Okay.
She did not drink coffee. She did not take cacao because she was scared because of the caffeination, the theobromine in the cacao. Okay. She was also very shy, very articulate woman who came on our course. And because Phelan's worked with Radiohead, Placebo, he's worked with Boy George, he's worked with Depeche Mode, he's worked with Moby. Phelan has a way of teaching people that it's not genre specific, it's about you understanding how the software works and why it works. But he has such a beautiful way of teaching it that everybody gets it, even from beginner to intermediate to professional. And that was really amazing to watch with Hideo, because she was, let's say, a little bit out of her depth. But over the 5 days, she really started to develop her skills. And then obviously she started to take the coffee. So then she bought 6 bars of our AUDIOMOGUL cacao. And then she went away with a kilo of coffee at the end. Now I've been keeping in touch with her. That's come up to 2 years ago now. She's now in Thailand. She's just finished an album, which is outstanding. And Andrew and I we've got a label as well, just to add to the bucket of things that we have. But we've got a record label, so we're going to put her album out on the record label.
Cool.
And it is very, very close to, the best way I can put it, it's like Bjork. It's like Bjork.
Yeah. She's got an incredible voice. She's got an incredible voice as well.
And is she following the meditations and the yoga and that sort of thing as well?
She does, yeah. She had the book. I gave her the book about 2 months ago, and she's been using it in Thailand. She's now going to come back to Ibiza, and we're going to engineer and mix and master her album with Jonathan Rogers, who's another one of our trainers, who's based here on the island. How
exciting. So it's just knowing that people are using it. That must feel amazing. That you're using it yourself, so you know the results from it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think you've sometimes it's kind of hypocritical. Sometimes when people put things out, and you're like, this is a really good fitness program. Like, do you do it? And they're like, nope. You're like, come on, you need to know it works yourself. I've been tried and tested, and as you said at the beginning and throughout, I don't really like coffee. However, I can drink this coffee. There's no sugar needed, no milk. And I'm actually like, oh, you know, I'm the sort of tester, and it's a strange way of testing something, because I said, if someone doesn't like beer and you go, there's 5 beers here, which one's your favorite? And they go, oh, actually, I don't like beer, but this one's actually quite good. Then you know it's a good product. And it's the same with Gav's coffee. And then I try them and I'm like, oh, I like this one. And if I like it as a non-coffee drinker, then it's obviously a good thing.
Yeah, no, I'm excited about this coffee. How can people find you if they want to get involved with Audio Mogul and everything great that you're doing?
Audiomogul.co.uk is the new website. We've got socials at Audio Mogul is our Instagram. Facebook is
Audio Mogul
Ibiza.
No, just
Audio Mogul now.
Yep.
And Twitter is at Mogul Audio.
Okay. Oh, Twitter, hey?
Yeah, the old reversing Twitter.
Yeah, cool. And what are the plans for the summer then, chaps? So we officially allowed people in, so are we expecting some courses or more relaxation for you guys, or what's up for you guys this summer?
Yeah, we've had to put the courses online. So we've got 4 online courses due to COVID-19. We had to put them online, which is actually a really good thing because it gives people a much more accessible way rather than coming out here. And then we're looking back into physical courses, possibly at the later end of the year, if not the beginning of next year. But we've got an incredible venue to do those in, super unique with a full-on studio to do those in. And yeah, that's our next thing. And then Gav, as ever, will be searching out new and wonderful coffees from around the world with the help of Steve and getting on, the products out there, I guess.
Yeah. I'm actually, as soon as I come off this call to you, I'm off to the villa where we're going to have 2 retreats. We're going to have one for Islanders only, which is going to be the book. So you're going to get to experience everything physically from the book.
Oh, incredible.
Which we're going to do a one-off this year. And then in October, we're going to do a course, but I can't speak too much about that yet. Andrew just briefly touched on it, but yeah, that's going to be really exciting. And that means people can come from the UK or to attend that course with possibly 3 of our trainers.
Cool. Awesome. How exciting. I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe, hand on heart, that this is the way forward for everybody. Having a producer boyfriend as well, who's been into this for quite some time, it works quite well. So we know that this works. So the meditation, the breath work, the cacao and the coffee. Awesome. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
You.
Our time is coming to an end, and I'm sure we could wrap it on for quite a long time since we are drinking good coffee. But what I want to do now, before I give your socials, I just want to make a mention of, so we are number 8 with Café Diem, born out of lockdown in Ibiza, and so we continue on in my living room and the living room of my guests. I want to mention next week that is the 1st of July. And I don't know if you know, it's Canada Day. So I've found a Canadian German guest to have on Café Diem. Her name is JOHANNA, and she is a meditation spiritual growth coach. So I'm quite excited. Never met her. So this will be my first guest who I have on Café Diem that I've never met for coffee or anything of the sort. So quite looking forward to that. So, and then if you're looking for the guides from Audio Mogul, especially if you want to buy this ebook, which I highly recommend, it's fantastic. There's a lot of information in it. And even if you were to pick out 1 or 2 things from the ebook and just start implementing those in your life, you would see an incredible difference in your creativity. I guarantee it. So you can find them on Facebook, which is, I believe it is Audio Mogul Ibiza,
it is, yeah.
Andrew.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Audio Mogul Ibiza. And then if you're looking for them on Instagram, Audio Mogul. And then, of course, check out their new website where you can buy the coffee, but only in the UK shipping to right now.
That's right. Yeah.
So if you're in Ibiza, you're going to have to wait for a little while for the coffee. But if you're in the UK, you can get involved in the coffee right away. And that is audiomogul.co.uk. If you're looking for Café Diem, I've kept it very easy for everybody. So Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud, Café Diem Ibiza. And then, of course, you will be watching this back on YouTube, which is Café Diem Ibiza. So if you could click subscribe and like and all that goodness. And if you have any ideas for guests that you'd like to see from Ibiza, health and fitness guests, you can always let me know in the comments below. And that is us. Unless I've forgot to plug myself, which I'm a certified health and fitness coach as well. So Unconditional Love Ibiza. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram as well. Forgotten about that sometimes. It's so involved with Café Diem. So thank you guys. I really
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it. And
Yeah, likewise.
yeah, this ebook is definitely something that you should be patting yourself on the back for. And I'm really looking forward to trying your coffee as soon as we get it in Ibiza, so we can try something different. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So thank you.
It's on the way.
Good. All right, chaps. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you again soon. So thank you for watching Café Diem. Adios.
Great. Thanks ever so much. Bye-bye.